So the next question I have is it true that you could potentially ride gravitational waves to travel across the cosmos at a speed closer or faster than the universe speed limit by compressing and expanding space in front and at the back respectively without breaking established physics with an elliptic drive? And what do you think we could potentially use to compress plant-sized mass into a reasonable size fit for the drive, enough to have a dent in the space-time fabric? Hello guys and welcome back to Tech Haven. Yes, it has been a while, it has been a couple of weeks, a couple of months, but we are back again. So a few weeks ago I asked a couple of questions back on Twitter and Instagram, and you guys asked a question. You're supposed to use the preamble. Is it true that? And you can answer questions based on rumors, theories and misconceptions about tech. Some people used the preamble, some people didn't. However, it doesn't matter. But now we're going to answer your question. Me and a couple of my team members are going to be answering the questions you guys asked over on Instagram and Twitter, and let's see how it goes. I'm Michelle Manuel, and welcome back to Tech Haven. So right off the bat, let's take the first question. The first question was to Stacy, and it says Xbox or PS5.
So the Xbox versus the PS5. I'm guessing by this question the person was referring to the Xbox Series X, so I would be answering based on that. So in my opinion, they are both extremely good consoles. Both are capable of ray tracing, of 4K gaming at 120 FPS. They both have fast load times, and they both have cheaper models. So what would really inform your decision? If you are more focused on getting to play your own PC games, probably the Xbox Series X would be better for you. This is because it has backward compatibility all the way back to the first Xbox games, so you wouldn't miss out on anything, and you wouldn't have to spend more money on new games. The PS5, however, only supports PS4 games, so that's a huge disadvantage. But in terms of controllers, I would say that Sony really innovated with the PS5's dual shock controller because it improves immersion due to the addition of the new haptic motors and the variable tension in the back triggers, in the rear triggers.
And the second question is to Nii.
So the next question is, can 5G kill? Well, as far as I'm concerned, 5G cannot kill. Manuel has already spoken about this in a previous video, and I highly recommend you go watch it. It will be linked in one of the corners or in the description below.
Now my question is, why is it that techno and phones like that have camera qualities that reduce over time? Now the truth is that camera quality doesn't reduce over time. In actual sense, it even improves over time. Now the reason why you are saying that is because you have become over familiar with your camera, and you're also seeing the improvements other companies are making to their phone cameras with the new phones that are coming. Now, as an example, when I got my Google Pixel in 2017, it was one of the best cameras, or arguably the best camera of that year. And so I used to get a lot of compliments about it. But then over the years, as I got to 2020, I realized that I didn't really like the way my pictures looked. But as a reference, I took a picture in 2017 of a flower, and I took the same picture again a few years later of that same flower. And then, in actual fact, the new one was better than the one I took previously. So I realized the reason why I was not appreciating my camera more is because I had seen the new improvements the other companies had brought. I had seen the new Pixel 5, I had seen the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 13, I had seen the new Samsungs, and all of them had better cameras. So I got over familiar with mine, and I started to depreciate my camera quality in my head. But the second reason is also because the camera companies you mentioned, the phone camera companies you mentioned, they are focused not on camera. What they want to do is they want to give you a phone at a very affordable price. So whatever corners they can cut, they will try and do it. And one of the main places they cut corners is in the camera. So of course you can't compare a $300 phone, which might be a Techno and an Infinix. You can't compare that to a $1,000 phone like the iPhone 12 or the S21 Ultra. You should know that when you're going for those budget-oriented phones, you're not going to get the best camera quality you want, unfortunately. So if you want a good camera, you have to pay extra for it. So the next question is for Dela.
Hey guys, my name is Philip. Our first question for today is, when is Apple going to release the iPhone 13? And for now, we don't actually know when Apple is going to release their new iPhones because they've not yet announced it. But what we know is that Apple normally releases their phones around September or October. So hopefully this year is the same. Our second question for today is the iPhone 12 Pro Max water resistant? And it's 2021. Pretty much every phone that's going to release this year or has released last year is water resistant. And so that applies to the iPhone 12 Pro too. It's IP68 water resistant, which means it can stay at a water depth of 6 feet for about 30 minutes. I've even seen this video on YouTube from Everything Apple Pro, I think, where he froze the iPhone X for like a day, and then when he took it out the next day, the phone was still working. So I think iPhones that are released nowadays are pretty good water resistant.
So my next question is, what's the big deal about 4K? 4K is just a standard resolution type on the market, and if you want to know more about displays, I made a video on it a few years ago. But fun fact is that most phones actually come at 1080p or 2K. There are hardly any phones with 4K, and the only phone that's at 4K is made by Sony, and it's regarded as overkill for a lot of people because most people can't discern between 4K and 1080p on a small screen. However, the reason why you're seeing 4K a lot these days is because they're on televisions. Now, I've reckoned that a lot of big television screens look very good in 4K. However, if you go higher than 4K resolution, if you go to 8K, it's a little bit of overkill because you wouldn't really see a difference between a 4K and an 8K on a relatively small TV screen like maybe 50-inch or 60-inch. So I'm going to assume that 4K was going to be the standard for a very, very long time, and even yet still, most of the content that are being released by television stations are not in 4K. They're in 1080p or 720p. So I think 4K is going to be the standard for a long time because I don't think we are moving to 8K anytime soon. So a lot of manufacturers are pushing the 4K narrative to a lot of people so that they buy it because 4K is sharp, more resolution, more money for them. Number 8 is one of my favorite questions, and it says, why are Apple products expensive? The simple answer is that you are paying for Apple tax. Apple has branded themselves as a luxury company. You go and buy a Louis Vuitton bag for what? $2,000, $5,000, $7,000, but you get the same quality of bag for those other bags for like 60 cedis, right? So you are buying Louis Vuitton bag not because of the quality of the bag, but for the brand. And so when you buy Apple, they've branded themselves as such. So you also have to pay for the Apple tax because you also want the logo on your phone. So basically, that's what they call the Apple tax. You're paying for it. But of course, Apple products are also good. But then the reason why they are mostly more expensive than other brands is because you are paying for the Apple tax. So the next question is quite interesting and one of my favorites also inside, and it says, what happened to Nokia? And I think Nokia is a classic example of refusing to adapt to the new times, right? If I decide to talk about this, I'm going to talk for a very long time, so I'm going to cut it short. Now, when Nokia started, they started making Symbian phones with touch pads and phones with physical keyboards and stuff, you know. And so after the invention of the iPhone and then all touchscreen, they refused to adapt it. They still made phones with the Symbian OS, refused to adapt to Android, and it took a very long time. And they said, okay, they are not going to use Android, they are going to use Windows. And unfortunately, even though Windows were liked by a lot of people, it was still not polished. You couldn't use Instagram. There are a couple of apps that were not compatible with the Windows operating system, and Windows refused to adjust their system so that apps like Instagram can fit on it. So before Nokia started coming back into the market full-fledged as an Android manufacturer, there were so many other companies on the market like HTC, like Samsung, and even OnePlus, and Google even came in the mix. So I think this should be just a lesson to a lot of people to learn to adapt to the times that are coming. When you release a new technology and then there's a new one which comes again, you have to learn to adapt the old technology with the new one. And I even believe that if Apple decides to slack and then not adapt their phones to the new technologies that keep coming, they will also fail. That's how technology works, you know. So the next question I have is, with the evolution of electric cars, how do you see Ghana adapting to the trend? The truth is that, look, our electricity is not stable. Forget it. You don't want to come from work and then want to charge your car and the lights are off. So that's one reason why Ghana will take a while before we adapt to it. And number 2, there are currently just a few electric car manufacturers on the market, which Tesla is spearheading right now. They produce most of the well-known electric vehicles on the market. And of course, Tesla, the one reason why they are also very popular is because they have chargers advantage points in the US and in Canada. But in Ghana, I've not even seen one Tesla supercharger anywhere. So if you bring a Tesla car to Ghana, probably you also have to come and let them install a supercharger in your house. And it means you can only charge your car in your house, which, I mean, if you want to do long distance, it negates it, right? So we get stable electricity without this doomso, and then you also get superchargers, and so that means Tesla will have to decide to come to Ghana and also form, which I think will take a very long time. But you know what? Let's even avoid talking about it. Let's try and buy our own Katanga vehicles and let's see how it goes. Yeah. So the next question I have is, what is augmented reality and how is it being implemented in today's tech world? Now, I think augmented reality is a topic I would like to dedicate a whole video to. So for this video, I'm going to just differentiate between augmented reality and virtual reality. Now, augmented reality is trying to create a digital world inside the world we already have right now. So an example is Snapchat. When you open a Snapchat filter, what it does is that it creates a replica of your world onto the phone and also adds searching features to it. So that's augmented reality. And with augmented reality, I think there's a lot of applications right now. For instance, you want to go and buy a furniture. You can buy the furniture, or you can test how and see how it will fit inside your room. So when you buy it, and you can just place your phone and place the camera maybe where you want to place the chair, and then just like a Snapchat filter will place the filter around your head, this one you can place the couch where exactly you want to put it and see on your phone whether it will look nice. So this is one example, and I think there's more examples to it. I'll think of more, and in my video that will be dedicated to that, I'll talk about it. But virtual reality is when you yourself immerse yourself into another reality altogether. So it's not that the digital world is trying to imprint a reality onto our physical reality, but then our reality or you yourself are entering the digital reality. So with virtual reality, you realize that I'm talking about a lot of realities, but I hope you get what I'm saying. So with virtual reality, basically you see you wear dark glasses and they transport you because most of your senses are your ears and your eyes. And so when you wear it, it transfers yourself or your consciousness into a whole different reality. So you can realize that you can be in a game and you can have an avatar for yourself and you'll be working the whole stuff. So virtual reality, you are putting yourself inside another digital reality. But for augmented reality, you're trying to place a digital reality inside our real reality. Hope it's making sense. Alright, so guys, it's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we hope to bring more Q&As in the future, and we'll try and be more frequent. It's not easy, but we'll try and be more frequent with the videos, and hopefully during the summer break we bring more videos. We'll pack a lot of videos, so you don't worry. But before you leave, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe and share with friends and family. Because if you like, it tells YouTube that people like our videos, so it's going to recommend them. So advise that when you watch the video, you like, and if you have not subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Just subscribe and share with friends and family, and let's help build a tech-based Africa together. And so the final question I have here is from Jonathan, and Jonathan says, can I be in the intro or outro of the video? Bye.